All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're tackling a fundamental architectural boundary for autonomous systems, knowing exactly when and why an agent absolutely has to pause and ask a human for permission. We've all seen AI that can think, plan, and execute, but if you're building or using agents, knowing when to force a pause is the difference between having a helpful tool and facing an incredibly expensive catastrophe.
Here's our roadmap for the explainer. We'll start with the architectural safety net, then hit the core design question, break down the actual anatomy of a checkpoint, talk about calibrating human trust, visualize the stakes, and finally, zoom out to the wider safety toolkit.
So, part one, the architectural safety net. We're moving beyond mere user experience and talking about sheer system survival. We really need to completely shift our mindset here. Human in the loop isn't just some cute little UI pop-up asking, "Are you sure?" No, this is a hardcore architectural boundary. Because think about it. What happens when an autonomous agent acts just a little too fast? When an agent is given the keys to your database, your email server, or your financials, taking human oversight out of the equation and letting it execute a bad decision before anyone even notices, well, that's a completely different category of risk. And this comparison hits the nail right on the head. On one side, you've got a slow, overly cautious agent making a minor, easily correctable mistake. Is it frustrating? Sure, a little bit, but it's totally survivable. Now look at the other side, a ridiculously fast, fully autonomous agent executing a rapid-fire sequence of irreversible errors. We're talking systemic, massive risk before you can even reach for the emergency off switch. It really proves that human-in-the-loop design is an absolute architectural survival requirement, not just an afterthought you tack on at the end. Moving on to Section 2, the core design question. This is all about finding that perfect fulcrum between speed and safety. This brings us to the ultimate design tension. Where exactly in your workflow do you put that pause? You simply can't put a checkpoint everywhere. If you have way too many checkpoints, you literally grind your operational speed to a halt and exhaust your human operators with a painfully slow manual process. But flip it around. If you have too few checkpoints, you let a single bad decision cascade into a massive failure. So what we really want is an architecturally balanced setup, one that dynamically pauses based entirely on the stakes. So the crucial takeaway here is that correct checkpoint placement isn't random. It tracks directly with two vital heuristics, consequence and reversibility. Consequence is just measuring the impact of an error. How bad is it? And reversibility is how easily you can undo it. If an action is high consequence and virtually impossible to reverse, boom, mandatory checkpoint. Low impact and a quick fix, the agent can proceed autonomously. Let's dive into Section 3, Anatomy of a Checkpoint. The actual mechanical pause in a dynamic workflow. Let's literally look under the hood. Mechanically, what does a checkpoint actually look like? It happens in 3 strict steps. First, execution pauses entirely. The agent stops dead in its tracks, nothing runs, and its exact state is saved. Second, it presents a clear, factual summary of the proposed action. And third, the system just waits. Nothing moves forward until the human operator inspects that summary and explicitly approves, rejects, or edits the plan. If you remember our explainer on graph workflows, this is a really fascinating connection. Think of checkpoints as conditional branches, but instead of a static piece of code evaluating a variable to decide which path to take, human intuition steps in. The human becomes the ultimate if-then condition. You're stepping in to provide the routing logic because the context is way too nuanced, or the stakes are just way too high to trust code alone. Which leads us perfectly into Section 4, Calibrating Human Trust, how we manage the operator's attention and reliability. Okay, so we've built our pauses, but now we hit a very real, very human problem: trust and attention span. We are terrible safety nets if we suffer from checkpoint fatigue. If you bombard a user with endless, low-value approvals, what happens? They'll just start blindly clicking approve on autopilot, which means they might approve a convincingly bad plan. The counter to this is dynamic gating. We gradually scale back those checks for specific proven actions. But, and this is absolutely vital, we permanently lock down the high-stakes actions. It doesn't matter if the agent has a flawless track record. Massive decisions stay gated forever. Let's jump into Section 5, Visualizing the Stakes. We'll apply this theory to some generic hypotheticals to see how it works in practice. Let's ground this with 2 side-by-side examples. Think about an agent summarizing an internal document. The stakes are super low, And if it messes up, it's totally reversible. You just delete the text. That route should absolutely proceed autonomously. Now contrast that with executing a financial transaction. The stakes are incredibly high, and once that money leaves the account, it's extremely hard to reverse. That scenario must trigger a mandatory human pause every single time. And finally, Section 6, the wider safety toolkit, because human checkpoints are really just the beginning of the story. While inserting a human operator is critical, you have to remember it's ultimately just one specific layer inside a much broader defense-in-depth safety ecosystem. To truly lock down an autonomous architecture, you have to combine human oversight with the wider toolkit. We're talking strict role-based access controls, isolated sandboxed environments, and automated verifier agents. Agents whose entire job is to double-check the logic before a human ever even sees it. It's all about building resilient layers of trust and control. So remember this. Human checkpoints are one safeguard. Next, the full toolkit for keeping an agent from going rogue: guardrails. We will be diving deep into exactly how those guardrails work in our next explainer. But before you go and build your next workflow, ask yourself this. If your autonomous agent hallucinated its absolute worst possible decision right at this very moment, who or what is actually standing in its way?